We're in my cactus room. We're going to look at a variety of different cactuses. They mostly Triceras, Pecanois, and Peruvianus, and Cirrus, and some Echinopsis, and whatnot. The word San Pedro is kind of the equivalent of saying marijuana. It's just a layman word. It really means nothing. It is a cactus, but not necessarily any particular cactus. And all of these cactuses are different, and they all look similar and have similar texture and design and content. And it really takes a professional taxonomist, botanist, and genealogist to tell you the differences. And it's really based on spines and where they're located, how long they are, interior. Like trees have rings, you can tell like how many rings, or the quickness of the growth, how quick does it grow, how thick does it get. These are all very significant factors. A lot of cactuses are edible, and just like mushrooms, you wouldn't want to just take somebody's word for it and go chowing on a cactus. Just like mushrooms in your salad at the store, they're pretty abundant, but you have professionals that are isolating those strains and genes, and consistently coming up with a consistent product. I would say that the average professional would not be able to look at these cactuses and tell the difference. I consider myself pretty well trained, and I argue with professionals on a daily basis, and so you being a botanist wouldn't really do much for you. You being whatever it is that your skills are, you need to times them times 3, times 4, times 5 to be able to get in the plant world. Is a huge argument of when it comes to names and what it actually is. So back to San Pedro is a generic name. It's just made up. It really just references cactuses at one time, probably from a town called San Pedro, but it even infers, I guess, Mexican. That's a Mexican word, but the fact that cactuses grow in Mexico in no means that all cactuses are Mexican. And I'm not even sure. I don't even think any of these cactuses are from Mexico. I'll have to, like I said, I got 3 or 4 different kinds here, but the top of my head, I would say I don't have any Mexican cactuses in here right now. None of these cactuses are endemic to desert or Mexico or Texas or wherever the hell San Pedro is. These are all South American cactuses grown on the tops of mountains in Ecuador, Peru, and so on. Chiapas. So the same cactus, for instance, this cactus right here and this cactus right here are in design and look very different based on the spines, but they're really not, because they're just in different growth stages, and it's quite possible that the spines on this might grow out to be like that. An example is how spiny this is, and then just the top of that, or just the top of that. See the spines. I'd say that the average information out there on a lot of cactuses and or plants is misinformation or repeated mantra that really has no educational basis on it, and is really just read out of a book, or saw in a movie, or whatever. And I'm not saying that this is complicated to find out, just that for whatever reason, education tends to repeat itself consistently and never really, knowing is a lot more important than learning. When someone tells you something and you repeat it, that's not knowing it, that's just repeating something, and you really need to understand,